Okay, so 2 minutes now on this tune, just to get everybody here situated. We're all...
Well, we're live anyway on my YouTube. So
Okay.
No worries.
Ben, this one's for you.
Awesome.
And then this one you don't have to get right up on. It's a really hot mic. This one's a little more sensitive, so you'll have to get this.
Oh, okay.
And I'll turn everything up as much as possible.
All right, cool. So just try not to slurp into the...
Yeah.
It's a really good sound effect, I promise.
That slurp sounds so weird.
You guys see this on the radio.
We have a fog rolling in.
My mom always told me too I had a face for radio, so this really is true. I mean, it's getting to do something live and on radio. It's great. And today's her birthday too. So this morning we got to go out and spread her ashes out at the beach and.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I gotta call my dad in a little bit too, and unless he's watching, then hey Dad. So I spread Mom's ashes. Sorry, didn't call you, let you know. C'est la vie. It's age. It's alright.
Yeah. And that's our Frankenstein. We put that mic stand together from other broken mic stands.
Oh, wow.
They don't make them like they used to. Zippers and mic stands.
Remember the old, those old metal refrigerators that had the like huge heavy top and bottom?
Yeah.
They brought those back. And you could buy them for $4,000.
$4,000.
$4,000.
Like those big thick lead lines.
Yeah.
Like oh wow.
Yeah, $4,000. Like what the?
Okay, so 10 seconds. Are we ready?
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Beatles from Revolver, always a good choice if you need just a 2-minute song. And your bird can sing. Before that, Good Morning from Sgt. Pepper's. It is 7 minutes past 10. Just Paul with you. Time now for community service until 1. Couple of different things happening this morning. First off, right off the bat, kicking it off, joined live in the studio, Dandelion and Ben.
Yep.
Scoot up on that thing. Let's get close. Let's see how you guys sound.
Sweet. Well, good morning, Paul. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I can hear everybody.
Yes,
That's always nice.
that was awesome.
So a couple of things. I have you guys in the studio here because lots of folks know you. They see you online as Dandelion doing the Death to Lefties live videos and things around town. And we started messaging on Facebook. You asked about the possibility of doing a show.
Correct.
And so we met and talked, and I was impressed. And I was impressed with your videos on Facebook too, because I looked at the first one thinking, oh, this is another divisive political thing. Death to lefties. He's actually he wants me to die. And I'm like, listen, that's not what you do at all in these videos. Tell people just. Starting with that, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you doing online?
This is all about inspiration. You know, we are growing up today in a different society, a different age, and we don't really have a lot of positivity. All the news tells us all the bad things that are going on. All the magazines are telling us what it is we need to really do in order to fit it into society. If we could just open up our hearts for a minute and realize that nobody's perfect. No, we all have to work every single day to better ourselves. So I wrote this book about inspiration and about inspiring.
Now we're getting ahead because I was starting with the videos on Facebook and things, and then subsequently, then you've got this book. You want to hold it up on the live people there? You can see them on the. We're doing the Facebook Live thing, and I just saw the copy of that on Facebook yesterday. When did this come out?
This was published early December 7th, I believe.
Okay.
It took place in May. I started writing it in May. 13 days later, I had a book.
Wow.
It was pretty fun. All the research I did into the left-handed people in society, and I realized that just like everybody else, they've had to overcome certain things. And again, that's another reason why I started doing the videos, is because we all have to overcome things. The book. I've been able to overcome a lot of own personal challenges in my life, and I couldn't do a lot of it without Ben. That's kind of why I've brought him along on my voyage, is because the more I learn about myself, the more he helps me understand myself.
Wow. Okay.
So, we always need that inspiration and that encouragement.
So Ben, what are you, sort of an unwitting spiritual guide here for Dandy?
I mean, I've just always been an eccentric type person. Always been diving into knowledge of I hate to say a cult, but just the all the hidden knowledges of the world. I was not the studious of students, but history was one of my favorite things. So I've sort of become maybe a bit obsessive on trying to figure out the truth of history, because the more time we go by, I mean, the stuff that I learned is not true anymore. So and I just always constantly like to bring ideas up like that around people, because people love to fight over things that we don't know. We literally
exactly.
don't have the answer
It's
to.
like, and it's like the less we know, the harder we'll fight.
And so the beautiful thing that with him and his book, and with the message he's trying to bring is, like, okay, yeah, we can jump on these wagons about oh, I'm this person, or I'm in this group, or I'm in this group, but we're all searching for the same thing, and we all want the same thing out of life.
Which is what?
Love, stability, happiness. I was in this meeting the other week, and we were talking about how do you heal communities, how do you heal people, and I've always loved the term, we're complicated houseplants. Well, if we're plants,
that does make a little bit of sense.
If we're plants, you have to have good roots, and in order to have good roots, as a human, we need food, water, shelter, love, so,
exactly.
we need to address issues like that. And with the way society is today, it's just, well, what's this sports person doing? What's this politician doing? Instead of, well, I saw that my neighbor's really struggling, but we don't talk to our neighbors,
and we're set today on division.
Yes.
It's dividing everything. We have Republicans and Democrats, two different places. We have the North and the South. We have every different type of religion to divide
got to have
us.
a label. Everything's got to be labeled these days.
If you don't believe in God on this aspect, then you're wrong. If you don't believe in this on that aspect, then you're wrong. And so trying to fit into society today, why can't we just have a gray? Why not just a gray area where everybody lives? Like, you're right. There's so many religions and politics that have the right idea and the right message. But somebody else's personal gain of something or personal idea got in the way of that. And it kind of really skewed from where it's supposed to be. And so we really don't even have a voice for the people anymore. Well, we haven't had really a voice for the people since Reagan.
Really? Okay.
Clinton, I mean, personally,
it's been
a long time, and everybody wants to bring out the bad about somebody during these political debates and everything. I challenge every single one of those politicians to say 10 good things about the person they're running against.
That's interesting.
You know what? If you can bring out all this crap about something that somebody did 42 years ago that they can't go back and change. Bring up something that they did that's positive.
That's interesting. I wonder how that would change a political campaign if everybody in the campaign started saying that.
Yeah. Hey, I watched you tie your grandmother's shoes. That was amazing.
Nice guy.
Way to really help, the elderly and something.
So what is? I want to talk specifically about you writing this book. Then you say in May. Now, when did you start doing the videos online? When did you start coming out here with the Dandelion persona and this message of community?
Dandelion was he was here summer of 2017.
Okay.
With Ron Cole and Gateway Education. And Ron Cole is one of the most amazing gurus. He won't say that he's a guru, but he is.
Yeah.
He's one of the most amazing men that just really allow people to find who they truly are. And I've known Ron since I moved to Crescent City. He's helped me in so many different ways. So when I had the chance to be able to do Gateway, which I totally recommend, if your children are the ages of 9 to 12 and 13 to 17, this is an amazing program for them. And even for adults, if you want to come out and volunteer for a day or two.
Well, 18 to 25, we're always looking for people to
counselors and stuff like that. So
it's I gotta have Ron on and talk about that.
Yes.
It's an incredible program. He's part of the Youth Training Academy in the summer, the YTA. So and I do that as well, doing the media pathway. And so we're at the same meetings for all.
That is awesome.
See him every month. And it's funny because we're having a very nuts and bolts kind of meeting about what we want to accomplish this summer with the youth and all the different things that are happening. And people are saying, oh, they need to they need to learn how to get a job. They need to work on their resumes. They need to work on these skills. And Ron's all, they need a rite of passage.
Yeah, right? Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And I'm like,
Oh,
wow, yeah, that's like a completely different page. But yeah, that would be awesome.
We go wrong.
Speaking of the kids, it's this kid that I was talking to the other week. She's a senior. She's getting ready to graduate from college, and she just, I'm like, so what are your plans? What do you
Crank
want
it
to
up.
think about doing?
Do that. Go ahead and push it.
And she just looked at me and just goes, well, I really don't know. I mean, what are you supposed to do after you get out of high school?
Yeah,
just
right.
work?
Oh.
Yeah.
And,
my youngest is going through that.
Yeah, what are kids
through
supposed
high
to do
school
today?
now, cleaning rooms in a hotel.
And granted, I'm not going to try to bash the monetary system or, the way things are set up. We all know things are wrong. We all, but if you could go out and work 40 hours a week and get minimum wage and easily be able to find your own place and feed your... Cool, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. But the fact of the matter is that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's scary for adults, much less trying to tell a younger child or a young adult that, oh yeah, don't worry, all these adults are mad about nothing. Like really go to college, spend all this money, get a big degree, and you're gonna have this perfect job lined up.
Yeah.
No.
And you don't have to worry about happiness or being a complete person. and
Well, because
growing.
happiness is having a good job.
Yeah, right?
Well, we get to draw nature names, and dandelion was given to me.
Oh, cool.
And so for a whole year, I mean, my friends, my family, my niece, some amazing people just kept it going. So I kept it going. And then when I wrote this book, the message from it was everything that I've kind of learned in that last year. And so putting it out there and then doing Gateway again, I got to go on a road trip to these 5 national parks. I got to run trails in 5 national parks.
Oh, which ones did you go to?
Grand Canyon, Canyonlands, Arches, Bryce, and Zion.
Oh my God.
And we actually ran Bryce and Zion in the same day.
Wow.
It was amazing. We got there, we got up in the
I don't
morning.
think the Roadrunner's ever done
Oh,
that.
well, my companion at the time is a sports nut, right? And so getting to be able to go and like run these trails, we ran Bryce at like 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
We drove to Zion, we found our camping, we ran a trail in Zion, woke up the next morning, ran another trail.
Oh my God.
So, I got inspired. I'm going to run a trail in every national park in North America.
That's a beautiful idea.
And there's one I want to swim. It's the Emerald Caves. It's in Arizona. It's gorgeous. If you get a chance to Google it, it's a kayak tour. It's beautiful.
Wow. On what? What lake? What is it?
It's actually through like a little river.
Really?
It's the greenest water, the greenest caves.
Oh, wow.
It's just beautiful.
I want to check that out. That sounds cool.
And so I'm going to swim it. I'm going to swim it. I have a kayak. I'm just going to swim next to my kayak. I'm going to take my boys with me and let them kayak and.
I was going to say flipper tour.
Flipper tour, yes. Oh, yeah. So doing this, I got to meet a lot of people throughout the world, from across the world. I met about 3,000 people, some really great stories and experiences, and it just kept going. And so what else could I do? What was the next step? And I kind of felt like the next step is not only doing a poetry book for Gateway Education, but starting, keeping the series going, doing a podcast, keeping the inspiration going. Dandelion is not done. He's one of these personas and these people that is just going to change the world. And it just takes one voice. It really does. We have people through history that have made a voice. There was a monk that lit himself on fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At a protest and didn't even scream, didn't make a noise. And that's the loudest voice I've ever heard in my life. And then we have quotes through time. And one of the greatest quotes ever is from V for Vendetta. When he says, "Why won't you die?" And V says, "Because under this mask, there's more than flesh. Under this mask, there's an idea, and ideas are bulletproof." And that just grips. Like, you can't stop an idea. Once that starts going, there's no way to stop it. Because somebody else is going to hear it, and they're going to like it. And it's just going to carry on.
So now on the back of the book, I was reading the synopsis here when
Yes,
we were
sir.
getting ready to get set up. And can I just read this
Please,
paragraph
please.
at the end? It says, named for the flower that spreads dreams, Dandelion was born and raised in the redwoods of California. He had spent many years in the Navy, living life and dreams, before one day finding the path that would allow him to share his love and passion with the world. Ideas. So this is what you're talking. So what is this? What is this idea? How does that play out in your physical life?
Compassion. You know, my mom was an advocate for the SPCA. We were a foster home for the SPCA.
Oh, wow.
She actually had the service animal before this term
Before
service
it was
animal.
called service animal. Yeah.
And this was back in the 80s, 90s. She took this 30-pound cat around to schools and taught about humane society, humane issues.
Does she have a Maine Coon?
Huh?
Is it a Maine Coon?
No,
Wow.
he was just this big fat
big
cat.
fat cat.
He was a fat cat. And you know, my sister and I used to tease each other like, "Oh, mom loves the cat more than she loves us." Well, that's only true because you say it.
Yeah.
But so she did these things, and to see that somebody had a voice that for compassion for not only animals and this cat would walk around the classroom and find a child that was having problems at home, right? And like the teacher would tell my mom, "Oh yeah, that kid is going through this at home."
Wow.
And so you know that compassion there has always stuck with me, to be the voice for somebody smaller. You know, we don't have enough voices for people that are willing to stand up for somebody. And we need more people like that. So if I can share this passion of compassion, share an idea that give a smile. If you don't have any money to give, great. Give somebody a smile.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that they need it. If you don't feel like giving somebody money, go into the store and buy them a sandwich or a bag of chips or something, you know, like.
Well, the simple fact of just saying hi to someone.
Yeah.
You
Give
know,
yourself.
You have these days where, you know, you just aren't feeling good about anything.
Let me get you up on a little closer.
You know, you have these days where you aren't feeling good about anything, and someone, you know, smiles at you, waves or something.
Could change everything.
Yeah.
It literally changes the, you know, everyone thinks helping is like you got to give money or you got to put all this community service in.
You gotta give
You know,
yourself.
Give,
That's
give someone a pat on the back. I mean, little simple things like that will change the world. You know?
I just got done helping Uncharted Shores Academy with their volleyball season. And the principal founder, Margie Rouge, she said, "Well, let's pay you." And I said, No, put that back into the sports program, because you know this is a charter school. I totally approve and agree with everything that is that you're doing. My son goes here, so if there's a way that we can keep this going, I'll volunteer my time. And it was amazing. I don't know.
You've been doing that for a while, right? You've been part of Uncharted Shores for a while.
I have, yeah. I was their math and science instructor for 2 years.
Oh,
I was
wow,
their
cool.
basketball coach for 3 years. You know, and I love their program.
Oh yeah,
It's
so
great.
you've been there since from the time they're in like storage units all the way up until now. They've got the old St. Joe's School, and they've turned it into their whole thing.
Well,
That's great.
and they have other things in the works too, to be able to expand it. Margie and Sherry are just amazing people with these great visions.
You're really passionate
You
about
know,
what they do.
yeah, and they care about the kids. I don't think either one of them are ever really going to retire.
Yeah.
Sherry, you're never going to retire. I promise you, never going to retire. I don't think the kids and Margie will ever let you.
Dandelion comes
So-
with the bad news. You're never going to be able to retire.
No, never going to be able to. Well, it's
because you're good at what you do.
She is. She's just that heart that just keeps something pumping, you know, and the blood flowing through it. And if we can have more places like that, you know, we have all these mom and pop shops in town that are great.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of businesses that like to compete for what? We this is a small town. We don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of forced to make a choice, and what kind of choice can we make to better our society and better our own community. And that's really what it is to better the community. We my nephews and I, we go out to the grammar schools in town, and we do trash cleanup on Saturdays.
Oh, cool.
When it's nice weather. We've done Best Maxwell and Crescent Oak. We're going to be doing Joe Hamilton and Crescent Oak. We're going to be doing Best Maxwell here pretty soon.
That's a big chunk of the town that you cleaned up right there. If you're doing Joe Hamilton and Crescent Oak.
It's right in our neighborhood.
With the government shutdown, you know, it's not like I might even go out to the national parks.
Right.
I mean, they're. I don't mind cleaning up. All those trails I ran in those parks, I came back with pockets filled with trash, picking it up and just throwing it away. And the Rangers are telling me, "Oh wow, you sure are a dirty person." I said, "No, I'm picking up the trash on the trail.
You're a dirty person.
I'm picking up the trash on the trail, brother. It's not me."
Oh wow, yeah.
And my dad is a left-handed pastor, magician, ventriloquist. An amazing man, I tell you. This
That sounds really. He should have a show too.
he really he does shows and stuff like that. His wife is Filipino, an amazing woman, and I got invited to be able to go over to the Philippines to be able to run a trail.
Oh wow.
But then I was also told, well, the trails here in America are really clean. Our trail there isn't clean. And I said, oh, so I'm going to have to be there for 3 days. 1 day so I can clean it, 1 day so I can rest, and the last day so I can recover from the last 2 days of cleaning and running. Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, we have more than one trail. I guess I better have more than 3 days.
How long were you there?
Oh, no, I haven't gone.
Oh, you haven't gone?
No, I'm getting to go probably 2020.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm really
that's
hoping.
really cool.
So with everything else that I have planned this year, we have another road trip that I'm going to do. With my boys, we're going to do 10 to 15 more national parks this year. Oh, wow. We have 3 book signings that we're going to try to do this year. One in Montana, which is going to be really cool. One here, January 23rd at the library at 6 p.m. And then a surprise one somewhere. And I have a surprise book coming out.
Wait, can you talk about it before it comes out if it's a surprise book?
I can. With everything that's going on today, my son and I, my son Jacob is 13. What a whip of a kid. And he and I were joking back and forth one day about having a book just on quotes. And who is one of the biggest people that we like to kind of poke fun or quote about. So we have about 100 quotes from an individual that we are going to publish.
Oh wow!
And we're I'm hoping that the money from this we want to put towards scholarships.
So are these funny quotes? Are these?
Oh, I guess you'll just have to wait.
Oh man! Okay,
I guess you'll just have to wait.
And how long do I have to wait for this?
Let's say July 4th.
Oh man, that's a long time.
Let's say July 4th.
July 4th. That's a good target date. So and you were saying the money's going where?
That's scholarships. We want to be able to help kids be able to go to college and write and be able to follow dreams. That's what it is. I mean, I'm donating most of the money from my book anyway. I don't want the money. I don't even want the fame. I want to be able to share a message and watch things grow.
Okay.
Period.
Then let's talk a little bit more. So this next Thursday, 4 p.m. That's when you guys are going live, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. What is that show going to be like? What is your message?
Oh, opening up some hearts. We live in this community, and a lot of people just kind of like to walk around in this hazy front.
Yeah.
And what can we do to really kind of open our community? We have a lot of great inspirational things. There's Dar Caldwell, who does the first 5, so we want to kind of bring that in a little bit more. Talk about some of the great things that are going on, not only in our community, but the outside neighboring communities. How to be able to move forward. How do we open our eyes and look within to really just move forward? We don't have to be so
think
selfish.
about, like for example, with Gateway, how many of those children, we go to a different park in the area each day, and most of them that live here, grown up here, have never been to them.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And
it's terrible.
I've heard that from Ron. Just about the kids are like, this is wow. Yeah.
And originally from being outside of this area, outside of the state too, I will say, it's easy to sort of, let the rain sometimes, get you down or anything like that, even in the summer. But at the same time, you go 15 minutes outside of town, and I mean, you can even walk to Stout Grove.
Yeah,
I've walked through it.
From Old Grove
Yeah. So we have all this beauty here that, I mean, if you can't just take 5 minutes to stop and stare at that ocean and realize, there's something bigger going on.
What'd be really fun is to be able to try to get a running crew together too, right? Where you just walk, or you run through Crescent City or a trail and you just pick up the trash. And there's so many containers now and receptacles to be able to throw stuff. There's a 9th and H. There's one right there on the corner there. There's some really good things in this community. So if we can just open up some eyes to it, that'd be great.
It does seem that a lot of the struggle that we have as a community is just getting that message out there. That these things are here and are available to be enjoyed, to be used, to be used for betterment of our quality of life. It's all right here. And so many times people go, I had no idea.
I think that's going to be a beautiful platform for this show. Is it's sort of like, you go to the store and whatever our options. Well, we just assume our option is Walmart, so we go there. It's sort of like in life, a lot of people don't know that we have all these great, things going on in the community to help the community, like the gardens where they can hang out and help as well, and pantry. So
let's
there's
get off of Facebook for a day.
Yeah.
Let's get off of Facebook. Let's not even go to a gas station. Everybody just leave your car at home. Jump on your bike, jump on a skateboard or a scooter.
And it's sad that that's a radical idea. That's sad to me, that it's like, wow, oh my God, everything would come to a grinding halt if we just walked away from all the noise.
For even 6 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of things would happen not only in our society but the world, as people are like, why is that town doing that?
That's what.
Well, let's do it. What is the gas station
idea.
just lost? What has every shopping center just lost because now nobody's going shopping anywhere. Nobody's spending money. No, we're all too busy helping our community. And our business is going to close. Well, they might not have to close, but to be able to allow employees to be able to take an hour to be able to go and sponsor that, or participate in that, that'd be great.
That's an interesting idea. At first I started thinking about like championing like a local day off. Let's just take a day off, Crescent City.
Exactly.
But also not just a day off to sit around and but to get out and to do things, betterment and to challenge yourselves, to clean up, to go someplace you've never been before, and see something you haven't seen.
How many times have you driven either into or out of Crescent City and you see trash on the side of the road and you're just like, that somebody needs to clean that up, and you keep driving.
Yeah.
Right, and then you see some red-bearded nut walking down the street with a bag picking up trash. What is that fool doing? And I've actually been stopped several times. Why are you doing this?
Really? Seriously?
Because I'm tired of looking at the trash in my city. We are finally being able to the Veterans Monument that they put up, that they're erecting, beautiful monument. Now that middle part, they could do something with that.
You mean in all of the what do they call
the
these
curbs, right? There's that just the sign that sits there.
Yeah.
With let's do something. Gateway Education, I bet, could do something great there.
Oh, the Welcome to Crescent City sign out there.
Let's do something with that.
Yeah.
Let's plant a bunch of something in there.
It looks like
how beautiful would town be if we, go get some wildflower seed and everyone spread wildflower seed around. We live in such a beautiful community, and we have such an opportunity here with, being right on the 101. We're got the beautiful beach. You have to come through this town to get anywhere in California. So let's, instead of offering people Taco Bell and Little Caesars, let's get some good stuff going on here.
Do you remember Hensel's?
Yes.
Oh, we need to bring Hensel's back. What
happened to that man? Oh my God.
That was terrible. I was there for 2 weeks and we're ready to go, and then he says, we're closed.
Were you working there for it?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I had just started, and I'm excited getting to move. 'Cause the food was amazing. Marsha, the cook, she was. They need to just clone her hands. I tell you, clone her hands.
I do miss Hensel. I do. Oh wow. And one guy going out catching the fish, coming back in, family cooks. I mean, every day he was going out. It was like fresh, right out the ocean, and it was so wonderful. People were coming. They were hearing about it and pulling into the harbor off of the highway.
They were on the 5, and somebody came out of their way down the 5 and the 199 to eat with us, and then got back on the 5. They were going to stay at the Motel 6 in Grants Pass, but they had to have fresh seafood.
That's beautiful.
And it was on Yelp.
And
it was Yelp.
He was getting so many great reviews on Yelp that was bringing people in. Oh, sorry, England is a business that has a long provenance in Delaware County. This is where they're from. This is what they do. They're a pinnacle of local business. But still, to do that to the little guy, just was like, wow. You couldn't find in the harbor some other place to set either yourself or a Hensel up and keep that going, because it was such a good for everybody.
Oh yeah, it would have expanded. And the possibilities, the potential. Yeah. If I had the money, I'd open up a place and tell them, hey, get your butt down here.
Okay, so how do you take a situation like that? Because my instinct in a situation like that is to get pissed. And to start saying, what a travesty, what they did to him, how do you take that and approach it positively? Like if you were to talk about Hensel on your show and talk about that, how do you keep that positive outlook without shaking your fist at something like I want to do?
Well, of course it was a tragedy, but what have all the good things come of it? He's been able to go off and do these other things. Marsha's gone down south, and she's now prospering as well. Kristen Kirsten Randrup is doing her thing as well, so she's succeeding. I'm off doing my own thing. Like, even though that was something, a foundation and a stepstone to be able to do things. And if the universe brings it back around so that he can do it again, I'm the first one on board.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go in there and I'll wash dishes for him again, just so that the cook can do their job. I loved it. I wholly supported it. And if there's a place in town that has a spot to be able to open up for him, please, let's help this guy out. This is some of the best food.
Yeah.
The best seafood, fresh caught.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some spots considering, we have a lot of real estate in this town that's not being used.
Well, yeah, but it's not just like sitting there on the table ready for somebody to check it out like a book at the library. It's all this money, it's all this stuff you got to do, It's not like you can just go.
I know.
I wish it were.
I know it's not a simple turnkey like renting
a
car.
Exactly. Yeah,
what about Juanita's? I mean, Juanita's the food, the Mexican trucker. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. See, and she was just out of her trunk for years, right?
Yeah.
She was like, she'd come into the old Fotique or KFUG when we were downtown and, selling tamales. And ordinarily you think you'd say like, oh, okay, no, I'm not buying tamales out of the back of a it was food cart thing. Yeah.
And so
she was out at the fairgrounds for the summer or something like that. Yeah.
And if Hensel's could do something like that as well, that'd be great. We could do more stuff. I mean, he would make a killing down at the beach just during the summer. Yeah. During the winter, get on the same route as Juanita's, and pair up with her and have a caravan. I mean, geez, the potential. Well, that's a possibility.
It's thanks for going through and like showing how to take something and make it. Sometimes that's a failing I have. I think that a blind spot I have is that I sometimes fail to turn it to the positive.
Well, that's something that we've all been programmed to do, though.
Yeah.
Because as we started off saying, everything's about division these days. So we're pre-programmed to automatically jump to
us and them,
a side or defensive.
A friend of mine tells me all the time, I have to go to work. No, you get to go to work. You don't have to do anything. You get to stay home.
And if you feel like it's something you have to do, then
then don't do it.
Do something else.
Yeah. If it feels like a job and you don't like it, then do something that doesn't feel like a job. I have friends of mine that are still in the military, and bless them. Bless their cotton socks for being able to still deal with that stuff, because today's military, I'm hearing about the new uniform changes and for the Navy, and I'm like, holy.
Really? Has it changed that much?
Yeah, now it's camis, like it's blue camouflage, and I guess now it's going
to Navy.
Yeah, now it's going to something else. Green, I guess it's regular camouflage or something, and I'm rolling over my still standing grave. Like, why would they do something just to keep? And again, we have no tradition anymore.
No, it's true.
The country is going to traditionalist thinking. We don't even have the traditional uniforms for our Navy or our Air Force. We don't even have the tradition of Halloween in schools anymore. You can't even paint your face, wear glasses to be Harry Potter. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
What is our society and our community coming to? Who is it that is really having their feelings hurt to where everything has to be equal? But if everything is equal and nobody gets to do anything, then I guess that is equal.
Yeah, if nobody gets to do
anything, then everybody's equal. Yes, that is terrible.
Then how do you take again, show me how to do the positive with that situation. If it does seem in many ways that we try to work ourselves to some sort of common ground sounds too inclusive, but like a baseline where like a lowest common denominator as a society. We try to get down and make everything express through something that's applicable to everything. So it's like it doesn't. I'm talking myself into the weeds here. If we're all trying to be the same, then how do you celebrate individuality? How do you do that without it being a negative thing? I guess.
I think these kids started it a couple of years ago with that whole mismatched socks thing.
Okay.
Right, and if we. So let's go with the whole mismatched socks thing. So now we have individuality, and then parents are like, "What are you doing? I didn't spend money on matched socks to fold your socks for you to just go. Nope, I don't care today. Well, I like this one and this. Okay, so now we have individuality, and if we keep encouraging that, then that's great. The problem is that if we over encourage that, then where's the boundaries? There are no more boundaries. We don't have any discipline now because there are no boundaries. People are afraid to do things, to stand up and have a voice.
Yeah.
And when somebody finally stands up and says, "Oh, I have a voice," that's great. Well, I'm talking about discipline to this lady in the store, and I said, "Of course, I beat my children. I beat my children every single day," and the look on her face was just horrific. She said, "How can you do that?" I said, "Well, because they're only this tall and they got little legs. They're not fast. They're not really, good at video games, so they lose at that all the time. They're not smart at Scrabble. I mean, it's really cool. It's like taking candy from a baby." And the guy behind her was laughing, and she left the line.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I can't be around this guy. Well, sorry to hurt your feelings.
Wow.
But, if we can just open our minds and our hearts and have that individuality and accept everybody else for theirs, draw that line wherever it is you feel you need to personally. And, I'm not going to go out and dye my beard pink tomorrow. October, I might. Breast cancer awareness,
Really?
I might do that, have
Is that
streaks
even
in it.
yeah, I guess it's possible now. They've got a whole new generation of hair dye stuff, right? Yeah.
And if the NFL can wear pink, I guess I
Can you
can.
do that?
I guess I'll do that the same day I register to vote. Oh, good. I'm actually going to register to vote.
You have not voted thus far?
No.
No, wow.
I have never registered. I have never voted. I've kept my opinion to myself because growing up, I never had a reason to vote. Everything just kind of seemed like it was somebody was on their own agenda.
Yeah.
Well, now we have a world that needs somebody with a positive agenda, and I'm going to register. And I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I might put my own name down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Will I actually win? I hope not. God, I hope not. To run this country.
Yeah, I don't want that job.
I don't. Well, I don't. I bet you, if I could work at Walmart, I could run America.
Okay, how do you corroborate? How do you correlate that? What are the parallels between working in Walmart and running America?
Walmart is separated into many different categories. Okay, so as is the country. Walmart has many employees of many different nationalities that have to work together in order to get a job done. So is America.
Okay, all right.
If I can work there and make my world succeed, positive thinking.
Then you've got the tools you would need for
exactly
to scale it up.
Exactly. You get rid of paying, like the meme that said, if we can't pay our military, but we can pay Congress. Oh. Yeah, let's cut out with that. Let's go to minimum wage for Congress as well. Because what do?
Well,
right?
no, they get that, and then no matter how long you're in Congress, they get that the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I would have a gig for 2 years and be set up for the rest of my
Yeah.
life.
Well, and they get paid when they don't work, and
they
so
get paid right now. Yeah.
it's terrible.
It is terrible.
The system really is built to watch us fail.
Yeah.
And let's try to change that, and even a little bit. I mean, if we can just.
Well, what we need a symbiotic relationship, not a parasitic relationship. Symbiotic relationship is, like I can do this, you can do that, we can both help each other out.
Once again, let me get you close to you. There you go.
Sit back. But a parasitic relationship is only good for the parasite. And unfortunately, going back to the minimum wage thing, you look at that. If I could work 40 hours a week and pay minimum wage and not worry about things, cool, awesome, no problem. But there's really no place in America that you can do that.
You don't make enough for Medicaid or Medi-Cal, but you make too much for food stamps, and you can't get on HUD because of this, and you set up to fail.
I'm on food stamps,
And,
so can you cover this shift? No, if I pick up that shift, they're gonna kick me off of food stamps.
You have to keep yourself poor.
Yeah, it goes.
These things. Yeah.
Minimum wage goes up, but then so does the price of everything. And why?
Because minimum wage went up.
That stupid vicious cycle.
Yeah, right.
Because someone needs that big pocket.
Well, there was a commercial in the military that I saw that just is the epitome of life, and this guy was saying, I got to work more hours so I can buy more drugs, or I got to work more hours so I can make more money so I can buy more drugs, so I can make more money so I can work more hours so I can buy more drugs. Yeah, and that is really what society is kind of getting to.
It strings you out.
Well, if you wonder, like, one of the best ways I heard it put. So if you ever want to think about like this being a sickness, as far as like, you know, the accumulation of wealth and materials. Why does a billionaire go to work?
That's a good question. Personal fulfillment?
Like,
Personal fulfillment?
well, why are they okay?
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. Why would a billionaire still continue to work and get paid such high wages? Oh, like to take the like take that huge sum of money. Hey, you still want to play with money and still, you know, need to be active.
mean
I
after-
understand that, but, you know, make that sort of like, you know, okay, now this is literally like my wages is play money to try to create
Because
new stuff.
after a certain amount, and I think there have been studies that have lined up this amount that you make. Money doesn't equate to happiness, but it does up to a certain point.
Right.
And then after that, it's just abstract.
Yeah.
And it's only like 150,000 or 200,000 or something like that. And then you've got everything material you could ever have, and you're fine. Everything else is just abstract, doesn't really exist in your mind. There's no reason to do anything.
And is there any appreciation for anything after that?
How do you mean?
Well, you have so much money. You can do anything you want. You can buy anything you want.
Yeah,
You
so what's at the end?
appreciate? Do you appreciate anything? Maybe you sit back and you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I worked my butt off to be able to get this, but I'm gonna go. No, I'll do that tomorrow. No,
Oh,
yeah.
Or even if, you know, to get something is just an amount of money away, as opposed to actually having to be worked toward
Right.
or achieved.
Right.
You know, yeah, I don't know.
Today's
It's great.
book-
We can sit around and talk about how great it is to not be rich.
Yeah, I got $1.32. Nope, I forgot it in my other pants.
It's in the other pants. It's in the money
other
pants.
Yeah, the money
I
pants.
heard some pennies clinking together.
Those were rocks. I'm sorry.
Those are-
Those were rocks. I was
I
at the
don't own
beach this
those.
morning. Yeah, I don't own those.
So you've got other books coming out.
I
heard you
do.
say, right?
I just finished chapter 22 of book 2 for Death to Lefties. It's called The Curse of Life.
Okay.
It takes place for the first 400 years of book 1. Book 1 is a 2,000-year journey.
Wow.
It is a 2,000-year journey that for a heritage. It's for a family. And why would somebody make a choice and then not only try to rid their lives of the choice, but try to cover up everything else for the rest of not only their life but the rest of the history. Why would somebody make choices just to keep covering it up? And we're uncovering things every day. I mean, we have YouTube shows of people that are like uncovering things and coming to light of things, and it's pretty neat in today's age of this. And as I'm listening to that the last month, my book starts hitting me in the head like, you wrote about the same thing that they're talking about today. You did this 6 months ago.
That's interesting.
What else can you do?
What sorts of things? What sorts of things have you seen on Facebook or on YouTube rather, and resonate with what you write?
The guy Anonymous, right? He's uncovering
It's
things.
it's a collective.
It's a collective,
Yeah, it's a
right?
group collective.
So the uncovering of certain things going on in the government, politics, religion, the world, just life. The history. The winner writes the tale. That's kind of what life has been about the last 10,000 years. And what real story happened? For anything. I mean, we're uncovering and we're learning that there were Native Americans that actually fought in the Civil War and in all these other wars and
On the Confederacy
side,
and then you wonder why we did what we did after it makes you think.
Why are we ashamed, I guess, of our choices? Why? And so I hope you enjoy that.
I'm looking forward to reading.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And I know Lisa's going to be excited because I was in the library a week ago just to talk to Shane about the upcoming signing and stuff. And we will be doing that live on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be posting that.
Now, before I want to get, I'll get
Yes.
that date again too.
Oh.
But do you have copies? Is this in the library? Do you have? Did you bring one to him?
I have not yet. I hope he's not watching or listening, but I'm gonna give him one at the signing. So
Oh, okay.
I'm actually gonna present him one.
Okay, cool.
So
Where can people find your book? Is it just online? Is it
It is-
Amazon now?
it is on Amazon. It's $9.99, and it's an amazing, fun story. It really is. The next 5 books after that, I do need to come in contact with 32 left-handed people. I really do, and I need different nationalities and genders and
That's
ways
not an
of
easy
life.
task,
No,
right?
it's not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's not. But they've all lived a life, and I need 16 to 20 paragraphs of what they've lived, what they've overcome, some of their challenges, and what is life like from their perspective.
Now, what inspired you to use left-handedness as a jumping-off point for this message of positivity and community and dredging up the tales of our human history, everything that we've talked about? How does that follow from left-handedness?
Have you ever heard about somebody writing anything about left-handed?
What-
Anything?
How do you mean?
How many left-handed books are there?
A left-handed book. I have no idea what that is. Is that a thing?
How many
Yeah,
left-handed
books?
hammers are there?
Yeah, good point. I
You
don't
know,
know.
like
Yeah.
there's not many, but we have all these jokes,
Uh-huh.
blonde jokes and redhead jokes. That left-handed jokes are really. Can I have a left-handed hammer? You know, and so where did these jokes come from? And as I did research about it, I learned that Julius Caesar and Joan of Arc were left-handed. You know, so but then at the same time, in those same eras, there was the left-handeds were the damned. Like they were
Yeah.
being killed and persecuted.
The word sinister comes from Latin, means left-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're being persecuted and killed because they went against the norm. But why? And Julius Caesar being left-handed and he's an emperor, but yet he's a damned. How did that happen? So I just got really inspired, and then some friends of mine were having a barbecue one night, and we started talking about the origin of certain people in our history, and I got even more excited, and I dove into it. I dove into it, and as I would right before I was getting published, my friend Will Merriweather, who is Will.
Yeah.
So he's an author.
I don't
as
know
well.
him. I know of him, but he's an instructor at,
Yes.
at the CR. At
Yes.
CR, yeah.
An amazing man.
Everybody I've known who's ever had his class, they just I know these young people, and they just swear that he's a great guy.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah.
Even on the inside, I mean, he's just a really great dude. And so when I was on my trip, he challenged me to be able to open the story a little bit more. And as I tried to, I realized that if I did, not only would my story change, but the tale that I'm trying to tell, to uncover. Because what kind of truth are we looking for? What truth are we inside? What are we looking for? We go to politics and religion and our parents and schools to search for what? What are we really looking for? What knowledge? And so the further I dove into it, the more I learned that it wasn't just left-handed, it was the world. The world was being persecuted against by somebody for their own agenda. Why? So I kind of wrote a fictionally non-fictional religious story about it. Fictionally non-fictional religious historical story.
Oh my God.
So,
Where did
there's
they put that in the library? What shelf does that go on?
I think it goes sideways,
Yeah,
right? They're just gonna kind of wedge it in somewhere.
That's on top of the shelf.
Yeah, it goes on top. Do you have that green book?
Yeah. It's up there.
So, and I'm really, and the picture on the front is from Florence Keller. So when people look at it, I want them to be able to see that there is a path one way and a bridge on the other side. And in the middle, there's a light. And what is it that...
Did you do the picture?
I did.
That's a beautiful picture, too.
Thank you. That was one of the last few days of my trip in August of this year that I was with my travel companion. And as I looked at it, it screamed at me, because we in life, we have two choices. We do. We can go right or left. And what happens when we follow that light that's in the middle?
Yeah, in the gray, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What happens when we follow that? And we kind of wake up one morning and we don't look at things negatively anymore. And when you let go of all the negative, your whole world opens up. Because, I stopped coaching this year 4 days before my mom died. So there's a blessing. I wasn't going to be able to be there for my team anyway, and my family needed me.
Oh, wow.
So look at the bright side of that.
Yeah,
The whole journey out there, I got to meet my half brother that I never met, and so an amazing guy, and so we got to come together, and every time something negative happens, there is a brighter side. You have to go to work. No, you get to go to work. Oh, I have to deal with my boss. No, you get to. Imagine their life that they have to come every day and be like, oh, I got to deal with this guy. And what now doesn't your tone kind of change? When you look at it from the other perspective. Yeah. There's a great class in Delaware County called the Mend When program. Amazing program. And even if somebody doesn't feel like they are abusive or aggressive, to be able to go in and sit in a class, to be able to listen how other people deal with life, it's kind of inspiring, because we all want to bring alcohol and drugs and this person nagging us. It's not this person, it's us. It really is. And when we stop to think that, well, if I don't do this, imagine.
Yeah.
And then when I have that thought switch, and that's the thing the Men Win program teaches is the thought switch, is to look at it from the other person's perspective. And when we stop and we do that, the whole world is going to be a whole much easier, a whole much better place to live in. In relationships, instead of arguing about who did dishes last time, do them.
Yeah.
They got to get done.
They got to get done. Someone will do it. And if you win, what will that victory really mean in the final analysis for you? Yeah.
There is no real win in a relationship. Both people win.
I totally understand and get what you're saying about the positivity, because, and I sort of come at it from the other side. I have learned over the years, because I've been a negative person a lot of my life, and I've become sensitized over time to seeing that reflected back to me. And I'm going, wow, all right, so if I walk into a room and I'm basically, the phrase I use is a turd in a pool, right? And that's what I'm getting back from people. Okay, well then if I don't want that back, maybe I shouldn't put that out. And then just to sort of approach people and situations then more positively, more openly, and listening to other people. And then you start getting that back. And it's like, oh, okay, all right. So the universe kind of seems to reflect what you throw out at it. And if you're walking around throwing that stuff out at it, then you're going to end up covered in it. And it's not,
if you're passing out negative, that's what you're going to get right back.
I get asked a lot how old I am. And people don't believe me when I tell them I'm 26.
I'm this many.
I'm this many. So, but I'm 42. But I don't feel it. I don't really want to believe I look it. And when I get asked that, I tell people our hearts are like a cauldron, right? And when you allow those and the people we meet and our experiences are like droplets of water that we are filling our cauldron with. And the more negative you fill it with, you're going to have that negative aspect. You're going to have that negative outlook all the time.
Yeah, and you can get to a point where you don't even see it.
Yeah, and it's going to evaporate all that positive. But if you start looking at things in a positive way and you start just staying more positive, and you watch the people that maybe you don't so much socialize with on a normal basis, but that you just allow yourself to be around, that positivity is going to evaporate that negative. And you're not going to age. Your gray hair is going to go away. Your wrinkles, you're going to, instead of going to work for 8 hours and getting off work and being like, oh crap, I just want to lay down and do nothing, you're going to have so much more energy because you're alive, you're energized. And when people start realizing that, oh man, imagine going into Walmart and not having to listen to the cashier talk about how, I just started work. Sorry for your loss. Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't work here if you dread it that much. Pay less. No, Payless Shoe Source is closed too, so you can't even go work there. Oh, man. What job are you going to have where you don't complain? What job?
Is this a question or
what? To anybody. I'm asking anybody in the world, what job, no matter the money, no matter the stakes, benefits, what job are you going to have where you don't complain? Yeah. Because we all talk about we have to get a job. No, you get to get a job. Go get it, grow, learn, be an inspiration for somebody else that's just sitting there, I'd have to. No, get off your ass and go do something. Yeah. Because this world we're like becoming the dumbest nation. We really are. We're the laziest nation. We just want to point fingers and blame everybody, but nobody wants to stand up and say, okay, well, let's stop doing this all of a sudden. Right? Let's just cold turkey, quit smoking cigarettes, quit Quit doing all the negative stuff. If you want to smoke, who cares, right? There's other worse things in the world, but don't bitch about it. Don't complain because you made a choice.
Yeah.
You don't get to complain about your choice.
Be the victim of yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I got married. Oh, well, guess what? You shouldn't have married
What was I thinking?
them.
Yeah, them.
You shouldn't have married them. You know, like if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. You know, and if you and your partner have been friends for a while and you know that their family doesn't like you, expect that they're not going to like you even after you get married.
Yeah.
Are you going to have to try harder? Meh. Meh. You know, I was watching Friends the other night, and Phoebe and Monica were having this conversation about Rachel's mom, and like they forgot to invite her to the baby shower. And Monica said, "Aren't you like mad because she won't accept your apology?" She goes, "No. I apologized twice, you know, and now it's on her. Like, why hold on to that hate? Why hold on to that negativity at all? We break up with people in a relationship, and we want to say we're going to move on.
Well, and holding on to that old hate and negativity is
that ages
even worse
you as
than
well.
putting new stuff out there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
You know, it's stronger. It's had time to, get its black belt per se.
Well, we leave a relationship, and we want to say, okay, well, best wishes. But for some reason, people just don't want to let go. And why? You had your chance. You guys were brought together for a purpose. You fulfilled that purpose. Move on. Let the world just really inspire you to do something else.
I think we as a society, as a culture too, have also we've made the ego sticky. As I have this whole thing about the growth of the individual personality over the last like 500-600 years, and going back, and it all hinges upon at the end of Romeo and Juliet, they both died, but at the end of West Side Story, Maria gets to live, because at the end of in a 20th century audience needs somebody to experience the pain through.
Right.
They can't just witness it on a stage like a 16th century audience could. The 20th century audience needs a person. So in that time, our idea of self has changed. And this goes all the way, but you can go back 2,500 years, and what Buddha says about ego and what it does.
Right.
We've kind of engineered that ego in the West, and we've made the individual somebody who holds on to everything. You hold on to your sense of self, you hold on to your sense of propriety, you hold on to your own sense of narrative and history, and you defend it, and you fight it against everybody, and you fight against everybody else, anybody who challenges that.
Yeah.
And so it all comes down to this ephemeral momentary thing that only exists in the moment that we have, this self. Suddenly we want to make it this memorial to everything,
right?
And we want to put everything in it, and we want to jealously hoard experience, and instead of just realizing that no, this is only in this moment, and that moment's gone, and that moment's gone, and anything that you were holding, you're not holding anyway, and you're just tricking yourself into thinking you do. So we've made these really, really sticky things that are conservative by nature, want to keep things from changing, want to hold on to everything possible. I'm sorry, this is your show, and I got off on this, but hold on to everything possible to keep to keep fear of death at bay, to keep fear of not self at bay, because the stronger the self has become, the more ominous the not self has become, and we've just sort of like hypnotized ourselves. This is all Alan Watts, I guess, is what I'm saying, but it just hypnotized ourselves into believing this myth.
It's great that you talked about the death part. People are afraid to die.
Yeah.
People fear death, and what they don't understand is no matter your belief, there is something further for you after. And it doesn't matter if you believe in spirituality or whatever. The fact that this is just a stepping stone. We really don't know what is after. I'm not afraid to die. I'm excited for the next step. I really am. I have 92 years before I'm going to die, and I'm not joking.
Wait, what's 92 plus 26?
118. And so terrible. Right?
Still young.
Still young. They have those monks that are like 130 years old that walk around with their beard over their shoulder and as a belt. That's the guy I want to be. And so. But when people realize that with death comes life, and with life comes death, and it's that vicious cycle that we need to accept and really be excited for. I'm not excited to die. I'm accepting of it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that next step. But the more we fear something, the more it kind of holds on to us, and we're afraid to push forward for any reason. You know, and experiences. I know so many people in Delaware County that have never left Crescent City.
Wow.
Like they might have gone to Brookings.
Yeah.
They might have gone to Arcata. You been to Medford? No. Why would I go that far?
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
Like,
Well, I mean, in Chicago, I had met people that never left, you know, like city block areas.
Wow, really? Wow, just the neighborhood, huh? Just wow.
and so how do we really get people out to do things? And so I bring up places in the world that I've been to. I've been to 24 countries with the military. I loved every minute of it. Stationed in Japan for 4 years.
Oh wow. Yeah.
England for 2 years.
My first 3 years were in Japan. My dad was in the Navy station
really?
in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, I loved it there. I mean, the culture, the food. I'm a food fatty, so anywhere we go, I'm the first one to say, yeah, just bring me something. I really don't care. The countries we go to, I tell them, keep your menu. Just bring me something good.
Yeah.
But don't be dumb about it. You know, don't bring me brains and bull testicles or something.
Yeah.
I want something amazing that I'm going to brag to my friends about. And then go, oh yeah, I want to go there. Greece is one of the most amazing, beautiful places in the world. Turkey as well, Ankara, Turkey. I mean, the food there, is amazing. And so when people really start to just, maybe they are food fatties, and maybe they just want to travel the world to eat something. Well, let's go. You know, I want to do a book signing in 2020 in Australia.
Oh wow.
So I've been.
Why specifically in Australia in 2020?
That way I don't have to pay for the shipping for the kangaroo jerky. I guess I'm a little selfish, I guess. I don't know. But the terrible thing is, kangaroo jerky also wins me out something bad. So you don't want to be around me or on a plane.
Wow, okay, wow, all right, yeah.
So, no, Australia...
That's a long flight, right?
I think it's 13 hours.
It's more than that to Australia, isn't it? Or is it? Wow, I don't know.
I think it is 13.
Okay.
13 hours. It's 16 to Japan.
No,
so,
I knew somebody he was going to India, so 13 was the first leg, and then there was another 8 on top of that, or something crazy.
Yeah. But I've loved Australia. I've been to Sydney and Perth. I loved it, and I want to go back. The culture's beautiful. I still have friends down there. And it'd be fun to go down there and walk around with a Death to Lefties t-shirt, you know, something. And my cousin's van has a big hashtag Death to Lefties across the back.
Oh, cool.
And I get stopped all the time. I get asked what that's about.
Yeah.
My wife is left-handed. Sweet.
You know,
and I'm glad. Well, she says you want to kill her. I don't want to kill anybody. But if we really open up our minds and our hearts, just Google it. The fact that on Google, I'm the number one thing. Death, space, to space, and I'm right there.
Oh, wow.
And so when people open up and they say, "Oh, holy cow, it's about this," or it's about inspiration, and this guy's trying to share a message of love and compassion. Is he a hippie? I have them in my life.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I'm aware of that culture. I am, and I do believe a lot that when you have a positive way of thinking and a positive life, positive things happen.
Yeah.
You know, and when you start to doubt anything, when your wife goes out with her girlfriends and you have that doubt of, you know, she's looking really pretty tonight, and you know, is somebody gonna pick up on her? Be glad she does.
Yeah.
Be glad, because that means you're doing something right. Right? And now, if she's late coming home,
make some calls.
Maybe make a call or two, you know, but have that faith in your partner that they're not going to be dumb, you know, and don't place the doubt anywhere. Because once that doubt seed is planted, you're never going to pull that weed ever.
And don't project that onto them.
That's right.
Think that's happening anyplace, not inside yourself.
We all live in these relationships, and we break up and we move forward, and you know, we want to say, oh, well, this person's just like my ex. No, they're not.
That's an
this one's taller than she was. This one has a job. This one's got 4 kids. This one had 3.
Yeah,
you know, they're not the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
When
even though your ex is not the same person that she was, you know. So I mean, everything changes.
Everything grows.
Life changes, and we always grow. You know, so
okay, you're growing for good or bad. You're growing.
Right.
We've been talking for an hour, guys.
Oh, holy cow!
Yeah.
What?
So let me recap.
Yes.
And
please.
then I will have to move on to next things. I've got another guest coming on here
Yeah, no
in
worries.
just a bit, but I'm really excited about the show. The show is this coming Thursday, 4 p.m. right here
Yes.
on KFUG on 101.1 FM in Crescent City, and then KFUGradio.org, every place else. You can stream it live. We will also record it so that we can make it a podcast.
Oh,
It'll be
great.
available on the website and through iTunes and all of the stuff.
That is awesome. And I'm also going to stream it on my
Yes.
YouTube channel.
We've got a
so
number of DJs
so
in
my
there.
my fan club can follow there as
Definitely.
well if they'd like to. Yeah, Paul, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. And
for having us.
Dandelion, before you go, just a
Yes.
reminder, January 23rd, it's at 6 p.m. is
Yes,
the
sir.
signing?
Yes.
At the library here in 190 Price Mall in,
Yep.
Here in Crescent City. And thank you so very much
Thank
for a copy
you.
of the
We
book. I'm really
appreciate
looking forward
it.
to reading this.
Yes, sir. No
Thank you
worries.
for
I saw that they were for sale, and the guy online was holding it up. I'm going, okay, I gotta wait till next month because I don't think I can afford it. And you brought one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate everything that you're getting ready to do for us and help us out with. So
Well, I'm
yeah,
looking
next
very
steps.
forward to hearing what the show is like and what happens with it, and I'm glad the KFUG is here to help you share your positive experience and
I'm glad it's here to help share positive
Yeah.
with the community because
Yeah, let's
we
do
can
this.
use it.
What are we gonna call the show?
Oh, how about DTL? We'll just call it DTL for now.
Yeah, well,
That's kind of
Well,
okay.
it has Death to Lefties. DTL is the business that I'm starting. Death to Lefties Apparel, DTL Apparel.
Okay.
And it also happens to be my initials, Dandy Trillium Lion.
There you go.
So it kind of helps with two things. And when
Okay.
people read the cover of the book, The Birth of Him,
Uh-huh.
they will realize that HIM has many different connotations
Yeah,
throughout
because
the
it is.
entire
It's,
book.
yeah, it's an
So-
abbreviation on here. H period, I period, M period.
Yes,
So yeah,
sir.
I'm
Awesome.
interested to see what that meant. I saw that. That's
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Thank you,
Daniel,
Paul.
Ryan, Ben, thank you very much. You both be back Thursday, 4
Yes, sir.
p.m.
4 p.m.
All right.
Thank you.
At that time.
thank you very much.
DTL debuting this next Thursday, 4 p.m. Looking forward to that. And check out the book. It is available on Amazon. It's called Death to Lefties by Dandelion. And then, of course, he will be at the library on the 23rd, which is, what day of the week is that?
That is the 23rd is Wednesday. It's a
It is
Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday. Wednesday the 23rd, 6 p.m., Delaware County Public